friends, and welcome back to the Silly Kitchen. You may have seen a few of my most recent videos where I traveled for a beautiful all-inclusive week to the wonderful Cuba. I still have a little bit of a tan, I hope you can tell. I'm holding on to it. And today I wanted to share with you something delicious that comes from Cuba. Now, before we get started, I promised some of my new friends that I made in Cuba that I would give them a shout out. So, Mag DL, I did not forget. Shout out to you. I hope that you are having a wonderful and beautiful day, and let's not make your brother jealous. So I will say hi to Pochi as well. And you may have noticed I'm wearing a pretty little bracelet that has my name on it because the lovely Claudia over at the resort made that for me, and it just touched my heart. If you've never been to Cuba, you've never traveled there before, and you can, I highly recommend it. It is just such a wonderful culture, and some of the people are just incredible. So that being said, I need a little taste of Cuba before we start cooking. So I'm gonna start by making a little fancy cocktail with some Havana Club rum. We are making a Cuba Libre to start. Okay, a Cuba Libre is just rum and Coke, but I like dark rum, so I was told in Cuba that that's called a Cubata instead of a Cuba Libre. Either way, let's make this drink together. If you have rum and Coke at home, please join me. I just need the sound of the ocean and the sunshine on me, and I can close my eyes and feel like I'm back in Cuba. So simple and so delicious. Cuban food and the Cuban culinary experience is not really on the map for anything crazy and exciting, and that's okay. They have some beautiful little hidden gems, and if you haven't yet, watch my Cuba food video from On Resort Food if you want to get a little glimpse of what I ate while I was on vacation. The one thing that I think came out of Cuba when it comes to food that just makes me happy is the Cubano Sandwich. I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna take you along this journey with me because it is easy, it is ingredients you probably have in your fridge, and there's nothing better than a great sandwich, especially when you're drinking a little too much rum. To start, I needed to roast some pork tenderloin or pork loin, and I used a rub and seasoning that I had specifically called a Cuban mojito mix. And then once I cooled it down and let it sit because I cooked it ahead of time, I sliced it to my desired thickness. To build the sandwich, I've got a nice little bun, some Havarti cheese on the bottom or Swiss cheese. I've got my pork tenderloin pieces, some ham, good old regular mustard. I have a whole bunch of pickle slices, just garlic dills, and then the glue that will hold it together, more cheese. Put the lid on it, and I don't have a panini press, and typically that's what you would use to get the sandwich nice and hot and melty, but if you have a frying pan at home, it works just as good. You can use your hand to push down the sandwich, but once you flip it, it's gonna get hot and messy, so I recommend just using a plate to put a little bit of pressure on that sandwich to get that panini press sort of flattening and warming thing happening in your frying pan. That's the best way that I can put it. Pork on pork, some delicious cheese, which is my favorite food group, mustard, pickles. I mean, what more do you need in a sandwich? I'm sure that you can look at ways of elevating this, making it different, doing something fancy, but it doesn't need to be. It is a delicious sandwich, and if you want to change up your sandwich just a little bit and try something like this, I recommend it. I also recommend that you have a Cuba Libre or a Cubata. I really need to work on my Spanish along with it because rum and Coke is delicious. Any way you put it with a Cubano sandwich, it's even better. Now, spoiler alert, I did have several Cuba Libres while I was in Cuba, but not once did I actually have a Cubano sandwich. I have read, and I was actually told, that the Cubano is something that was more popular, or even brought to more popularity more in Florida and in Miami. So my Miami friends, my Florida friends, is the Cubano popular where you are? Is it street food? Is it just available? Is it something that people eat on a regular basis? Because I would. I think with the ingredients that are needed to make this sandwich, you can enjoy it anywhere. Call it what you wanted, a pork and cheese, a ham and cheese, a Cubano. I call it delicious. Thanks for joining me on The Silly Kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this quick little episode, and I will hope to see you soon, and I hope to see all of my friends in Cuba again soon too. Till next time.